All right, let's just run through this. So I know you probably have, well, like the two people that have seen my freaking videos, probably have noticed the vet background that I have most of the times because I've um, needed that um, several times, and then it's just a phone number you can call even when you don't feel like you need it. Maybe if you just need to talk to somebody, they're there. But having said that, I guess I talk about vets a lot too. So I wanted to talk about the VA hospitals, and I'm I don't know what's going to happen with the VA hospital, so I'm a little bit concerned. What is Donald Trump going to do? So, if you remember back, there was a little piece before he was inaugurated, and they talked about the VA a little bit, and here's a video of that right now.
Elsa Morano, and meeting with a handful of executives from some of America's top hospitals, like Johns Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic, and the Cleveland Clinic. The Cleveland Clinic was represented by a leading contender to become VA Secretary, Dr. Toby Cosgrove. Whoever gets picked for VA or agriculture jobs are going to join it. He said he wanted to talk about what he's been doing in regards
All right. Well, here, we'll just finish that.
to the Veterans Affairs Administration. An official with him then said the transition team is considering a private option that would allow veterans to seek treatment at private facilities.
All right, so he's talking to the CEOs of like Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Cleveland Clinic. All of them are really good um, nonprofit medical facilities. So you might get excited about it, and say, "Hey, this is a good deal for vets. We might see some additional care, which is not a more care for vets is I'm all for that. But I use the VA, so I'm concerned, and so I did a little bit of background on it, and I came across this. Here, I'll show you this. It's I did just looked at CEOs and what CEO, and I came across this article, and it talks about how much CEOs make and nonprofit CEOs, and it mentions these three guys that he met with from Cleveland Clinic, the Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins, and all those three CEOs make over $1 million. Which, I mean, these guys provide a exceptional care. The Mayo Clinic, I haven't heard a negative story about the Mayo Clinic, only positive things I've heard. So I'm excited about that part. However, these guys make a lot of money because the clinics, the nonprofits, make a ton of money too. So, and I mean, look, if you can make money, make money. But if you're just gonna, I mean, I got these revenues off their tax report on their submitted financials every year, and some of them I couldn't find, and you can look at that. It's Johns Hopkins. These are revenues in the year there, 4.9 billion. And I took the most conservative numbers because there are a whole lot of numbers out there that I could take, and some of them are much higher than these for revenues. But I took off what I saw as their financial sheets that they have posted online, or they're on different websites that you can find them on. But so these nonprofits have a lot of revenue. The money they take in. The problem with the VA is you'll never have money being taken to the VA except for from veterans, taxpayers, the government funds the VA, right? It's a responsibility of the government to take care of its vets, and you will run into a problem when patient care is not number one at the VA hospitals. I have been heavily using the VA in the last 2 years because of things that have happened with me, and I need their care. And they're about the last line of defense for vets. And I'll just tell you my story with the VA is I had I had chest pains, and I went in to see an emergency room here in the Fayetteville VA. They checked me out, and they referred me to go see get a stress test. They said they recommended that I get a stress test and put that in the system. And I was called, and the stress test was set up. And then I had the stress test in December 8th or 9th, somewhere around there. The test said I had blockage somewhere. I got scheduled for a stent, a cardiac cath, and on the 3rd or 4th of January. I had it done on the 4th, and I was out the same day, and I had 80% blockage in one of my arteries. And a week later, I had a reaction with medications that I take for seizures, and all my muscles contracted, and I can't help but think that because the VA was fast, they probably saved my life, and I thank them for that. Well, that's my story about the VA. And I am afraid that if the VA is privatized and if it is made into a nonprofit that has to create revenue, it just won't happen. And patient care won't be number one anymore. It will be, the revenue you create. And we send people to war in Iraq and Afghanistan and Vietnam and Grenada and all these places. These guys got killed yesterday, all over the world. And you make promises to people that you take care of them. And this country made promises to its vets that they'd take care of them, and you can't just privatize that. You can't privatize a promise. So I guess my last thought was would say, please do not privatize the VA. Help it get better, so it can help vets get better. And thanks.